That's what I'm talking about.
It's true, he was just talking about that.
Shut up, Wesley.
I am awaiting my dinner. This has caused me to become displeased.
Oh, wow. Sweet emotion.
I wish to bring you erotic pleasure. Let us experience this sexual event. Chaloja!
That's what I'm talking about, right there on that boom!
Sir, I protest. I am not a merry man.
Shut up, Wesley.
As I am incapable of stuttering, I must conclude that you heard me.
Where's Gordon's leg?
Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome to Star Trek Picard live show Splosion. I'm back from ArtCon. I'm back in where I belong, right here on YouTube, talking to you guys about Star Trek Picard, the Orville, other things that we love to talk about, because we're going to be talking about episode 4, Star Trek Picard, Absolute Candor, does not mean that it's not Orville Day. Thursdays are Orville days until we are told otherwise. We might be moving to another day at some point, but I don't have any word on that yet. But I do have word on something you guys been wondering about, Corin Nemec. I was able to hang out and chat and have a drink or two with Corin Nemec over the weekend and get the details on his his audition for season 3 of the Orville. And we're going to talk about that too. But first, let's see who is here. But I need to get my background music on. So much better. Jaloja, everyone. Live long and prosper. Let's see who YouTube says is here. Participants. Andrew Reynolds, channel member Brian Dawkins, channel member Geolaw, Felix Reinhardt, I'm Dark Fire, 007, Jeff McNally, Jeremy Rowe, Jerry Ruiz, Joel Diaz, John Bringman, John Burns, John Knight, Jonathan Perez, Kathia Star, L. Grantham Zaire, Lloyd, Cher, channel member Luke Moore, welcome channel member Luke Moore, Matt Graham, Mexican Iron Man, that sounds familiar. No, I'm thinking of Mexican Joker. Mexican Iron Man would also be awesome. Piano Dean, what's going on? Richards, The Great Dilberto, Toph Gorman, Yule Master, and names are popping in all over the place. So sorry if I missed your name. Archmage Frey, Bill Confidential, Dave G. Sound, Adam of Grayskull. We're pretty caught up, but the names are filing in here. Hey, John Burns, you rock, buddy. Keep up the Lieutenant Dan work. Thank you very much, John Burns, for that super chat. You're helping keep the lights on here at Egotastic FunTimes.
Tingles. I feel as if I have been standing my entire life and I just sat down.
I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to stand up. I've been sitting down earlier today doing all the stuff you got to do when you have a channel that has nothing to do with creating content, but maintaining content. I've been doing website work. Fantastic fun time. I've been doing all the bits and bobs that people don't really care about that much. It's not the fun part, but it's worth it. Damn it, it's worth it. Lieutenant Dan, the Orville lover man. Sturm vom Alk. Jaloja JP. Good evening, JP. What's up? Bob Grimes. Kalon Primary. Much better. Kalon Primary is a channel member. Welcome, Kalon Primary. I'm here, Dr. JP. Did you guys watch the latest episode of Star Trek Picard? Absolute Candor. What did you guys think about it? I've watched it 3 times, so I can get every little piece of detail. This episode was directed by Jonathan Frakes. This is the first episode we've seen that was not directed by Hanley Culpepper, who directed the first 3 episodes, because the first 3 episodes of the season were basically one pilot in 3 parts. So now we've gotten over the pilot, the 3-part pilot, and now we are into the rest of the story. We finally are moving forward at a much faster pace than we were before. We got to meet our last member of the crew, Elnor. Rearrange the letters, it spells Elron, not Elrond, like some people say. Elron, like L. Ron Hubbard. It's a tribute to L. Ron Hubbard on Star Trek Picard. But we meet the young Romulan sister boy, which I love that he's called Sister Boy, because he grew up amongst those Romulan warrior nuns, which actually ended up being kind of fun. Alison Pill's character, Dr. Jumati, made a fun little joke. She's like, "What? Romulan assassin warrior nuns? Is that a thing?" Alison Pill was actually very funny this episode, especially her conversation with Captain Rios at the very beginning. Rios just wants to brood. He's a goth, you guys. He wants to brood. He wants to read his book and smoke his cigars or synthigars. I'm guessing they're real cigars. Apparently, Captain Rios, they wrote him to have a lot of bad habits that are, or outdated habits that aren't really very popular anymore, but he holds on to them because they're part of his ancient Latin American heritage, which is very important to him, which is why he reads Latin philosophy books and stuff like that. So they gave him that trait because he's also trying to be a bad boy, because he is Starfleet through and through, and he's trying to shuck that demeanor, but he can't. You saw him in this episode kind of fanboy out a little bit on Picard. He tried to play it cool, but he kind of just reverts to whatever Picard says, and Raffi was calling him on it. Andrew Reynolds! Oh wait, wrong button. Andrew Reynolds!
Weird how some guys can treat a woman that way and somehow just not be bothered by it.
I'm gonna have to fix the delay there. Now when you guys super chat, we get on-screen on-screen stuff, but I need to fix the delay. The delay's a little long. Andrew Reynolds, noticed Soji's head twitch. Ooh, I didn't. I need to go back and check that out. Soji's head twitch at 22:21 like data. Well, thank you for listing that. I'm definitely going to check that out because that's the type of stuff I like to look for. There's actually a lot of deep canon shout-outs that a lot of people aren't going to notice. Even hardcore Trekkies aren't going to notice, which is good because they put a lot of blatant stuff out there. It kind of does get annoying. Raffi vaping, turns out she was actually using an ancient, not ancient, but a very old traditional Orion Horgel, I think is what it's called. It's a Horgel, and she was smoking, which is used for snake leaf, and that's what she was smoking. So that's actually part of Star Trek canon in there somewhere, because she's got some bad habits too. These are broken people. The Federation is still very utopian, but there are some broken people amongst the crowd there, living a little bit outside of the rest of the population. Raffi's is one of them. Rios is another one of them, and that's who Picard is getting on his team. These broken people to head out and fight with him because he doesn't want to bring the good people. He doesn't want to bring the good people with him because they might get hurt. So Picard's like, we'll bring some broken people. How about that? Jason Espinosa.
Show no mercy. We fight for the glory of Avis.
Jolan True. Jason Espinosa, Jolan True, which is Romulan greeting. If you watch the TNG episodes, Unification Parts 1 and 2, which I did today, they use Jolan True. Oh, God, they probably used that phrase 20 times in those 2 episodes. I was actually getting over it. I'm like, why don't you guys stop greeting each other all the damn time? It's the only Romulan word they taught anybody in that episode. But yeah, Jolan True, thank you very much. John Burns.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Yeah, you look like the guy who's on the list because you know the DJ.
John Burns says, prefer a name that unscrambled was Elwood Blue. Yeah, from the Blues Brothers. That's a Dan Aykroyd reference. Never going to turn away a Dan Ack ref, you guys. Stephen Klein.
I am sorry you are upset. Perhaps you are on your period.
Are you? Are you Stephen Klein? Yes, this is my new Orville hat. It's from season 2. It's got the Fox logo on the back. This is what they were giving out to affiliates and stuff like that. I happened to get my hands on one this weekend when at my booth at ArtCon. Stony Girl, who some of you guys might know her. She has been an Egopanion for a very long time. She shows up in the chats and on the Twitter sometimes and in the comments below in videos. Stony Girl found me at my booth at ArtCon, and she gave me this incredible Orville hat because she's a Fox affiliate in Missouri. So she had this stuff, and she also gave me, I don't have it here, but an incredible giant beer mug, like a clear giant beer mug that says Making History on it. It's an official Making History beer mug. It's Stein size, but it's a mug. Yeah, so that's my new hat. These are no longer made anymore. The new hats, the season 3 hats, will have Hulu on the back of them, I'm pretty sure, if they have anything at all. Hey, JP, when do you want to do the interview? And I need instructions on setting it up if you don't want to host it here. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to host it here. Man, Kalon, for Kalon's channel, they want to do an interview, which would be great. I don't know exactly what type of instructions I'd be able to give you. I mean, it's just something I figured out over years and years and years, but you're going to want to use, I would think, OBS, which is a free program. You just go OBS. A lot of bacon strips oh no, that's not how you spell a lot. O-lot, omit bacon strips. And then you want to have Skype and you want to incorporate it. It is a lot of working with it. So when you get proficient with that, I'll try to send you like some how-to videos because I wouldn't be of much help with that, but I'll see if I can find some how-to videos to get it all set up. And then you're just gonna have to practice it and get good at it or proficient at it. And then when you're ready, we'll get it going. Greetings, Egotastic FunTimers. Latchcomb, what have I missed? Well, we figured out everything about Star Trek Picard. Actually, this episode, you guys, of Picard, I think, to me, it seems like it explains. It's the moment that Patrick Stewart, I think it's explained in this episode, what Picard's going through, the failures that he actually had 14 years ago. He failed. It wasn't just the Federation. After the Federation made their choice to go back on their promise, he failed by just giving up. And he regrets that, and he's trying to make up for it. In this episode, we really see a couple moments where Picard is still, maybe even more so, the same man that we knew from TNG. Standing up for what's right, putting himself in front there, also laying down his sword at the behest of his own life. He could have died. He laid down his sword as soon as he could. He defended himself really quick when it came at him because everything was happening so quickly. And as soon as the guy pulled away, he threw the sword down. He says, "No, we're not going to do this." And then as soon as Elnor took that Romulan's head, which actually was very skillfully done. Good job, Jonathan Frakes. When Elnor decapitated that guy, it was artfully done so that we don't see anything. There was nothing gory at all. Anything gory was our heads doing the work. But if you go back and watch it 3 times like I did, nothing gross happened at all, but it feels like it did. So good job, Jonathan Frakes, masterful director. But yeah, as soon as they got out of the situation and beamed aboard the La Serenia, before anything else happened, Jean-Luc grabbed Elnor and says, "Listen, if you're going to join this cause, that man did not deserve to die. You need to promise me right now." That was his first thing, that he didn't just let somebody get killed that was going to kill him and let it go. He says, "No, people are important. If you're going to raise your sword, you do so when I tell you to do so." So he took charge. Lives matter to Picard. And so that was a nice moment, because I feel if this was one of the TNG movies, he wouldn't have done that. Somebody would have, lost their noggin, and he would have just moved on to get to the next scene. So this was nice that they actually took the time to have Picard live up to Picard's principles. John Burns.
I'm your huckleberry.
I'm your huckleberry.
That's just my game.
Actually, everyone thinks he says huckleberry. He actually says hucklebearer. The huckle is the thing you grab onto on the side of a coffin. A lot of people don't know that. It's a huckle. And if you're a bearer, like a pallbearer, back in the day, they would call that a hucklebearer. Little Wild West information there. It's like a documentary, an informative series here at Egotastic FunTimes. Raffi reminds me of Commodore Matt Decker. The original series... Oh, TDM. Why am I missing out on TDM? Tasty That Mess. Tasty That Mess. Yeah, Matt Decker. Raffi, I liked her a lot more this episode. She still hasn't quite won me over, just because Michelle Hurd's a great actress, but I still haven't dive deep. I do like her lovingly argumentative. I like the little relationship that her and Jean-Luc have. It's very different than any other relationship we've seen him have with someone that used to be his second in command, because of the type of work that they did together. It was very different than TNG and the movies type of work. This is the two of them going off in this huge adventure where they're just the two of them, because it's they're rescuing all these Romulans. Usually they're the only Starfleet people there. Usually they're the only humans there. So they relied on each other in a much different way with that type of work than when Picard was the captain of the Enterprise and sending people on away teams and stuff like that. This is a very different type of relationship, which is why she probably gets away with calling him JL, which is fine. I just don't like the nickname JL. She didn't use it she used it more naturally in this episode, but the last episode she was just JL this, JL that conversation. I'm like, come on, people don't use each other's names that often. This time though, she was referring to him, in the third person, saying, "Oh, JL thinks this. Hey, JL, I wanted to ask you something." So that was fun with me. Hey, Urban Druid, $10. Thank you very much. Thanks, JP, for your great content. I want to like Star Trek Picard, but the writing and the flow of the show seems off. Allison's Peel character is annoying. So generic slip, and the side scene was epic cringe. Yeah, if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. I liked all that stuff. Allison Pill, I really enjoyed her this episode, but, you know, different strokes for different folks. Let's see, the writing and the flow of the show seems off. Yeah, different flows for different hoes. I'm loving it. I love the slow pace of the first 3 episodes. But yeah, I get that. You don't have to like it if you don't like it. Why would I make you like it? There's so much Trek out there that you do love, right? So we can always rely on that. Yeah, I like the slips scene because as soon as I saw it, I'm like, okay, it wasn't true love type stuff. He's messing with her. He's trying to get some of that, but, you know, information wise. So he was playing the role of a cringy boyfriend. I remember when I was young, I used to do cringy stuff like that in real life, trying to get the girl to laugh and to smile. So I totally get that. But yeah, as soon as it happened, the first thing I thought of was truly cringy. That damn scene, that damn romance montage from what was it, Attack of the Clones? I think it was Attack of the Clones was the second movie. Oh man, Anakin and Padme having their little date vacation on Naboo, that was super cringy. So as soon as that went into my head, I'm like, oh, this isn't cringy at all because I had the comparison in my head. But yeah, I see what you're saying. JL's Picard's street name. See, I was hoping he'd go by JP. That'll work too. I like Pill's character, but that's likely because I want to nail her. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I'm really liking Allison Pill's character. I didn't feel her the first episode. I mean, I liked her in the first episode, but there was this one moment where I was like, acting. That's acting right there. I'm like, that was a little rough. But this episode, she had nothing that annoyed me in this episode. I hate sand. It gets everywhere. JP, careful, CBS is sucking you in. No, never. CBS is not sucking me in. I'm okay with not liking CBS, but taking what they offer one thing at a time. Like, for instance, I may not like JJ Star Wars. Does that mean I can't like JJ Lost? I love Lost. I love stuff like that. So my brain just doesn't work that way. If I don't like somebody, it doesn't mean I can't look past that to see what they're coming out with. But also, while I'm enjoying Picard right now, I don't have any expectations to like any other CBS Trek series because I have to see it first. We are at this part. We are at this place in our lives where just because it has the name Star Trek on it doesn't mean it's going to be any damn good. We used to be able to give it the benefit of the doubt years ago. It's like, oh, Star Trek, I'm going to love it. Now it's like, ooh, I have to wait and see it first. Each episode at a time, each season at a time, each series at a time. The successes of one do not get enjoyed by another series. The other series will have to earn its own keep, so to speak. The only part of the episode I liked was the 7 of 9 member berries. Okay, let's talk about 7 of 9. It was really quick. It was a great, exciting moment to get us into the next episode. I don't know if the previous episodes really had the super exciting moments that are like, oh God, I can't wait till next week. This episode did. I don't know if it's Jonathan Frakes bringing his expertise into the show. It was great to have 7 of 9. You know, there's this Findus Ranger. I guess she's a ranger, and they're patrolling that Vashi planet, or they try to. They're having a hard time. She joins the fight against that antique bird of prey, which is what they called it. A warlord got his hands on an antique bird of prey. So now it makes total sense why there's an old bird of prey there, Romulan bird of prey. And it totally makes sense. We were all wondering what the hell that was all about before. Now it's like, okay, that totally works. Some warlord out there got his hands on one and he's using it to run amok. So she joins the fight. They get together. Her ship's going to explode against the planet's defense system. They beam her out. Boom, it's 7 of 9. She's like, oh, she's trying to play it all cool. Oh, hey, what are you doing here, Picard? You owe me a ship. And then she passes out. It was actually, I watched it a few times. It gives me a chuckle, but also like a badass, like, yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. But it was a great way to bring her in with a little bit of comedy. And so far, this whole series, even though it's dramatic, it's supposed to be dramatic, a character study, personal, every episode has been way lighter in tone than any of us expected it to be. I thought it was going to be pretty heavy, but there's so many light moments and nothing's gotten too heavy so far. Thank goodness, because man, if they were doing that Discovery crap where everything's just, every moment is life or death and everybody's so mad at each other, you hurt my feelings, that type of crap, it just wouldn't play well. I mean, it might play better just because Patrick Stewart is at a higher caliber, a higher level, like that. Like when Raffi was saying, we shouldn't go to this refugee camp. We got places to be. We got to go to Vegas and party. And he's in that look that Picard gave her when he said, I might never be through here ever again, because he knows he might die on this mission, and this might be his only chance to make amends on that planet, with that refugee camp. That really came across well. It was probably the second most important line in the episode. The first most important line in the episode was when that assassin Romulan nun lady told him, because of her candor, her absolute candor, she said, you couldn't save everyone, so you chose to save no one. And that was Picard's failure. He gave up. Like he said, he had perfection become the enemy of saving the Romulans. He wanted to save everyone. When he couldn't save everyone, he gave up because of the whole Federation issue. He left. His whole identity was Starfleet and Federation. So he gave up. He failed everybody because he didn't fight on despite the fact that he left Starfleet. That's all it would have taken. John Burns.
Hobo clowns are the most dangerous because they're hungry.
I love Lost. Explain to me the get out now. Oh, I don't remember the get out now. I remember, we got to go back, Kate. We got to go back to the island. And I remember, don't tell me what I can't do. And I remember Hurley sharing a Snickers with What's-His-Nuts. John Burns again.
Really? This is my job? How did I win at life? But I did. I won.
It's like a movie. Picard might die. Hugh Jackman. Yeah, this is kind of doing I think this is Old Man Picard. I think is a lot less annoying than Old Man Professor X. Old Man Professor X really could have died. He was hanging on the edge. Picard's out there saying, I'm going to space and I'm going to make it so, damn it. Let history never forget the name La Serenia. Rios was telling Picard about old Romulan warship being used to harass the area. Then Raffi asked why he didn't tell Picard that before, and Rios said he assumed Picard knew, so why tell him now? Because there was a whole group of people there, so I guess he thought he was starting a conversation. He's probably brought it up to see what Picard wanted to do about it. He didn't realize that Picard didn't know about it. I do declare, Contessa, I sure do appreciate your absolute candor. Yeah, I did like that these nuns just tell it like it is. That main assassin nun lady, the first line that she gave, she was talking with little boy Elnor, which, by the way, the little boy was fine. The casting was wrong, though. He looks nothing like adult Elnor. Doesn't even have the same accent, so they kind of screwed up on the casting. Good job, little boy. Good job. But it was the wrong casting. I didn't believe him to grow up to become Elnor. But that assassin nuns lady, that first time she spoke, I was like, oh, she sounds a little too American. Like it's a little too just a little too American. It didn't have that alien vibe to her. But then when I was watching Unification today, yeah, there's Romulans in there that just sound like, people from Montana. And they're like, oh, I'm a Romulan. Yeah, absolutely, I'm a Romulan. See you later. So then I was like, oh, okay. But she was fine the rest of the episode, though. John.
Just a walk in the park, Kazan.
I'm going to. Old man yells at Cloud.